introduce is if else statement. If else. Once comes to this if else, we have different kinds of variations are there. So what we can do here, we can create a logical blocker. We'll go for an example. We'll define a variable int age equals assigns to 12. I want to check. Now this is a variable. So 12 is not a fixed value, it's changing time to time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the age is greater than 18 or not. To check the age is greater than 8 or not, what I have to do is I have to add conditions like this. If within brackets, I need to add the logic. Keep in mind, always this is a Boolean inside this scope. Within this bracket, it's a Boolean value. Unless it might unable to evaluate the equation. We'll do some of examples, then you could be able to understand a bit more. Now what you need to do is you need to check the age is greater than 18 or not. How to check? It's a simple thing. Age is greater than 18. This is a logical condition. Age is a variable. Currently it's 12. At the moment 12 is not greater than 18. But assume if it is 21. Now age is 21 greater than 18. Obviously it's true. So what we can do is we can add a scope in here. Now what we can do, we can add system.out.println or something in here. Right? We can add something here. We can say you are old. Now to enter to this scope, in the sense this within these curly brackets, this conditional statement must be true. You should understand this conditional statement must be true. If it is true, it comes to this scope. Then the program will execute. We'll see what happens here. The age is 21. Now we'll execute this one. You are old. Perfect. What happens if the age is less than 80? Now 12 assigns to this age. Age is greater than 18 or not? Not really. So it's false. I have a scope to access if the condition is true. But unfortunately, this situation, the condition is false. So now what we have to do? We have to go to another scope, which is else scope. Else means if the condition is false, this condition is true, then you enter to this scope or starting from this curly bracket to this curly bracket. Else means if the condition is false, then you can go for another statement. You are a kid. Right? We'll execute this one and see what happens here. You are a kid. Nice. If the age is above 18, so it's take 82, we'll execute. You are old. Perfect. Now we have both options. First option, which allows you to enter the true scope. Sorry, from starting from here to here. This is the scope, that true scope. Else means if it is false. This is one logical structure of a condition. Usually we use this if else whenever we are using a continuous logic. Continuous logic means if it is number kind of thing. Numbers, there is a continuation, greater than 18 or not, greater than 18 or not, greater than 15 or not, greater than 25 or not, that kind of a thing. Now this is a basic structure. We'll enhance this structure a bit more. Now I want to check a bit more. How I want to check? I want to check if the age is greater than 80 or not. Now I want to check whether the age is in between 0 to 120, because you know it's the usual situation. Age could be start from 0 and it should be goes up to maximum 120. I don't think so human will live more than 120 years. Probably it's less than 110, but we'll keep maximum if there is a person who stays 120 maximum. Any idea to solve this problem? Now I want to check age. Initially the age is greater than 18 and less than 120 or not. If it is true, then only we are enter to this scope. Do you have any idea to solve this problem? If you can write the source code, quickly write the source code and drop an email to me.
Sorry.
Done? How will you? Still doing?
Yes, I put it in the Telegram group.
All right, no worries, no worries, that's fine. Okay, good. Okay, good. Well, you need to check the age is greater than 0 or not. Could you please quickly update it? Age should be in a range of 0 to 120. That's the first blocker or the condition that we are checking. Very good, very good. So you have updated the coordinates. Good, very good actually. It covers the required level. So what we can do in here, we can initially take if then we are telling age is greater than to 0, then we are telling the other possibility is age should be less than 120. So this is the range. So we have to check the operation, whether we are going for what kind of operation. We'll go for 0 or then we are telling greater than less than 120. If so, what we can do, you just go for this scope. Now initially what we do in any case, if it is incorrect, if the age is incorrect, if the age is not in the range 0 to 120, so what we can do, simply we can reject it. We can go for else, we can go for else, incorrect, this out, incorrect, age. That's it. So in between here, what we can do, we can add the code that we want to add it to here. Now we are in a safe stage, isn't it? So if if the condition is true, then we can go for this one. Now, have you understood something gone wrong in here for the O condition? Now assume I'm telling 821. Now we'll see what happens in here. We'll execute this one. Oh, you're old, which is not possible. It's impossible, isn't it? So our O loop or O condition would not fit, isn't it? O means any of condition is true. Greater than 0, so it's true. Hence it goes to inside. So shall we go for AND operation in here? We go for AND operation. Now we'll execute. Now it says incorrect age. The reason behind is the age should be above 0 according to this logic. It should be true. Yes, 821 is true. So no worries at all. It goes to here. Then it goes to here to check the condition. Now it's 821. 821 is less than 120, which is false. True and false. Final evaluation is false. So it do not allow to access to this scope. So end of this scope or else is in there. So we can get the output in here. Do you got it? How to consider whether O condition or an end condition? I think it's much clear. Now,
Yes,
assume,
yes.
got it, right? So further we can enhance this process. Further we can enhance. Now, assume the age that we are considering is minus 5 for some reason. We can add. So what happens in here? Minus 5 assigns to age. Now age is minus 5. Minus 5 is less than 0. The condition is false. If the condition is false, do we need to go for this condition? No. The reason behind is, if it is AND operation, if one logic is false, the entire logic is false. So false, if it is true or false, we don't want to bother. The final answer is false. So what we can do, we can enhance this AND operation to short circuit AND. Short circuit AND stops the process if the first condition is false. If this condition is false, if this condition is false, it's not moving to here. Entire process is, entire logic is false. Obviously, then it goes to the end of this logic, then goes to the else process. Got it? How I have enhanced my logical sequence, right? We'll execute this one, right? Incorrect age. If it is 5, now we'll see it's working perfectly. Yes, you are a kid. If it is age of 50, we'll see what happens. You are old, good. Above 18, yes, you are old, good. And we'll go for another one. We'll go for 500, which is impossible, and it gives an output incorrect age. Perfect, isn't it? So our solution is perfect. So we have done a nice job in here. So our problem is solved. Our job is to calculate or find out the age values. Now it's working perfectly. Any questions?
Yeah, sir.
No. Right. We'll modify a bit more the same logic. Now, what I want to do is I want to state age levels. I want to state age levels like this. My condition is like this. I'll add it into here. I'll add it into here. Here, 0 to 18, 0 to 12 will tell you are a kid. From 13 to 18 or 19, sorry, will tell you are a teenage. Then we'll go for 20 to 40. You are good. All right. We'll go to 41 to 120. You old man. Go out. Right. Could you please update according to these logics whether you could be able to enhance the same logic or not? These are the conditions that given for us. These are the conditions given for us. This is the final output that we want. Teenage. Thank you. I'll give him 5 minutes maximum. I don't think so you want 5 minutes, but I'll give maximum 5 minutes to God. Right. Updated the code. Good. Right. Now you could understand the normal if else condition would lags in here. So I don't want to explain a bit more, but I would give one explanation for this time because we haven't discussed if else, though you know the story. So what we are going to do now, we are checking the logical conditions. How I'm staging to greater than 0 and age is less than 18. No, sorry, 12. You are a kid. Then if condition is done, good. But again, we want to go for another condition after this condition. For that, what we want to go for, we have to go for else if. Now this is the false condition. Else inside this else, what we are doing, we are adding an additional logical condition. What is the logical condition here? What we are going to do, we are going to add age is greater than 13 and age is less than 20. You are a teenage, right? Teenage. Likewise, we can add any number of if else conditions in here. We can write any number of if else conditions in here, then we can finalize the work. I think you got it. This is another structure. If the second structure that I have discussed is nested if within another if. Now this is this if condition true when only the first if condition is true. If the first condition is true, then only the second condition would start even. This kind of a scenario is known as nested if. If not, it's not. If not, it's not working. That means nested if is activating after the first condition is true. Now, this is else if conditions might be there. These kinds of things are known as if else ladder. If else ladder. This is another structure. You can add any number of else if conditions in here. Else if, then you are adding a logical condition, then you are adding some stuff in here, then again else if and else if. So this is another structure. This is another conditional structure that you need to understand that we can use in Java. All right, clear. Now we understood up to certain level of if else conditions, but there are much more logical structures that you need to understand and go through. We will go for another structure. Any questions? Any questions, guys? Any questions?
No, sir.
No, all good. Right. Where are the others? Others are not joining. No idea.
No idea, sir.
No idea. ඔය ළමයි තියරි එකක් තියෙනවා. මොකක්ද නැත් තියරි එක? පුළුවන් එකාට නෑ තියෙන එකාටමයි හම්බ වෙන්නේ. ඕක එක එක මේ කන්ටෙක්ස්ටස් වල අපි එක එක නම් දීලා තියෙනවා. කෙමිස්ට්‍රි වලදී ඕක මේ කියනවා hydrogen organic chemistry වල මාකෝනික ෆ්ලෝ කියලා. හයිඩ්‍රජන් තියෙන තැනට තමයි හයිඩ්‍රජන් එකතු වෙන්නේ. හරි. ඉතින් එහෙම තමයි එක එක ඒ කියන්නේ හැම කන්ටෙක්ස්ට් සෝෂියොලොජි වලදීත් ඕක තියෙනවා. සල්ලි තියෙන එකව තමයි richer gets richer. සල්ලි තියෙන එකව තමයි සල්ලිකාරයෙක් වෙන්නේ. ඔය ඔහොම තියරි තියෙනවා. ඔය කොයි කෙත් කියන්නේ තියෙන එකාටමයි හරියන්නේ කියලා. හරිද කවිද? ඉතින් මේ এডুকেෂන් වලත් එහෙම තමයි කතන්දරේ. පුළුවන් එකාම තමයි පන්තියට එන්නේ. පුළුවන් එකාම තමයි ඉගෙන ගන්න මාසිනේ. බැරි එකයි ඉගෙන ගන්නෙම නෑ, මුකුත් කරන්නෙම නෑ, බොරු කර කර ඉන්නවා. දැන් කවිදට පුළුවන් Java හොඳට. කවිද දැන් මම අද මේ උගන්වන්නේ පැය 4ම පන්තියේ නොහිටියත් කවිදට ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරගෙන යන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ කවිද කියන චරිතය පන්තියට ඇවිල්ලා ඉගෙන ගන්න. පුළුවන් එකාමයි ඉගෙන ගන්න. හරි පුදුමයක් නේද කවිද මේක? එහෙම හිතෙන්නේ නැද්ද? ඈ?
මම මැසේජ් එකක් දැම්මා සර් මේ තව විනාඩි 15කින් විතර එක්කෙනෙක් ජොයින් වෙනවා කිව්වා.
ජොයින් වෙන්නේ. ඔය ජොයින් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් වල තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ කවේද? මේවා හෙන ගහන්න වගේ තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. සමාජ අධ්‍යයන ඉතිහාසය සෞඛ්‍ය වගේ විෂයන් එවෙන්නේ මේවා එකපාරටම තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේවා ටිකක් අමාරුයි. මොඩේ මහන්සි වෙනවා. දැන් ඔයා කලින් මොනාරි කළා ඇති. ඒක තමයි ඔයාලට මේක අල්ලගෙන යන්න පුළුවන්. පළවෙනි සැරේට ඉස්සෙල්ලාම නමෝ විත්තිය මේ වැඩේ කරනවා නම් මේක හෙන දුකක්. මේ හරි අමාරු වැඩපිළිවෙලක්. ඉතින් මේවා තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ එකපාරටම. එහෙනම් ඔක්කොම කට්ටියට ගණන් හදන්න පුළුවන් ඉන්න එපයි නේ. ඔක්කොම කට්ටිය ලෙවල් මැච් කරනවානේ. එහෙම වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක අමාරුයි මේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් අමාරුයි. ස්වභාවය ඒකේ නේචර් එක මේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් වල. අමාරු සබ්ජෙක්ට් අමාරු කියලා අතාරලා දාන එක නෙවෙයි වැඩේ. අමාරු සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක කොහොම හරි ගොඩ දා ගන්න මහන්සි වෙන එක. අවාසනාවට වෙන්නේ මේ කොල්ලෝ ටික එහෙම රස්තියාදු ගහ ඉන්නවා. ඉතින් ඊළඟට අන්තිමට අසයින්මන්ට් එක දුන්නාම උත්තර දකුණ පේන්නේ නැහැ. උත්තර හොයාගන්න විදියක් නැහැ. හැමතැනම දුවපයින්නවා. මේක විතරක් නෙවෙයි ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙනවා කම්පියුටේෂනල් ඉන්ටෙලිජන්ස් වලත් තියෙනවා දැන් මම අද උදේ MSc සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකක් කළා ඒකෙත් එහෙම තමයි ඉතින් කම්ප්ලෙක්ස් තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ එකපාරටම තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ කිව්වට මේක ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරලාම තමයි තේරෙන්නේ පළවෙනි සැරේට කියනකොට තේරෙන කට්ටිය හරි අඩුයි 3-4 සැරයක් ආයෙත් රීවොච් කරලා ආයෙ සැරයක් ඕක ගිහින් තමම රිෆර් කරලා කරන්න ඕනේ ඉතින් පුළුවන් තරම් ඒ බැරි කට්ටියට ජොයින් වෙන්න කියලා මැසේජ් එක දැම්ම කිව්වයි කියලා කියන්නකෝ මේක රෙකෝඩ් එකක් තියෙනවානේ සර් මෙන්න මේ වෙලාවේ විස්තරය කිව්වයි කියලාත් කියන්න. එතකොට අඩුව තරමින් ඒ ළමයි ජොයින් වෙන්නේ නේ නැත්තම් හරි අපරාධයක් මොකද මේ කෝඩ් නොකර ගොඩ දාන්න බෑ. මට පුළුවන් තියරි විතරක්ම උගන්වගෙන යන්න. මට හොඳට තියරි උගන්වන්න පුළුවන් කිසිම ඉෂුවක් නැහැ 7000 තියරි ගොඩකින් යන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑමින් සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක මම කැමති නැහැ. දැන් මම ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් මැනේජ්මන්ට් කරන ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ BIS කට්ටියට. ඉතින් මම PPT එකක් හදාගෙන ඉතින් පිළිවෙලට PPT එක විස්තර කරලා දෙනවා. ඒ තියරි සබ්ජෙක්ට්. මේවා තියරි සබ්ජෙක්ට් නෙවෙයි. මේක කෙලින්ම කෝඩින් සබ්ජෙක්ට්. කෝඩ් එකේ බහලා තමයි කරන්න ඕනේ වැඩේ. මේවා තියරි හරි අඩුයි. තියරි එකත් අපි කෝඩ් එකේම තමයි ඔප්පු කරලා වැඩේ කර ගන්න ඕනේ. ඒතකොට තමයි මේක ඇඟට හොඳට දැනෙන්නේ. නේද? නැත්තම් මේක දැනෙන්නේ ඒකද කට්ටියට කියන්නේ. කියන්න මේ අපරාධෙන් නැත්තම් මේ ළමයි 6-7ක් දක්වා ඉන්නවනේ ළමයි.
පහයි ඉන්නේ SC කරන්නේ. පහයි ඉන්නේ සර් SC කරන්නේ.
පහයි. ඉතින් පහෙන් අඩුව තරමින් 3 දෙනෙක්වත් ජොයින් වෙනවා නම් නේද වටිනාකමක් තියෙන අඩුව තරමින් කුප්පියක් හරි දාගන්න. මේ මිනිස්සු මොනවද කියන්නේ කියලා නේ අහගෙනවත් තින්න. නේද නැත්තම් ඔයාලට තමයි මුළු කරදරේ ඊළඟට සෙමෙස්ටර් එක පුරාට. අනේ මචං මේක කරලා දීපන් කියලා හැමෝම කියනවා. ඒක කරදරේ වෙන්නේ. හරි කවන්නේ අපි සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක කරමු චුට්ටක් ඉංග්‍රීසියට කියන්න නැත්තම් අපරාධෙනේ මේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ තේරෙන්නේ නැතුනට අවුලක් නැහැ මම පන්තියේදී කෝඩ් එක කියලා දෙනවනේ කොහොමද ලියන්නේ කියලා මේක මේ පොඩ අල්ලගෙන යන්න ඒගොල්ලන්ට කියන්නේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක අමාරුයි මචං ඕක මාත් ඉගෙන ගන්නකොට පළවෙනි සැරේට මගේ ඔළුව කැරකිලා හැදුනා දෙසරයක් කියලා කියන්නේ එයා මම ඉගෙන ගන්නකොටත් එහෙම තමයි ළමයි මටත් එකපාරට මේ ගහන්න වගේ තේරුන්නේ නැහැ මම සුපර් හීරෝ කෙනෙක් නෙවෙයිනේ මාත් පුදුම මානසිකයක් කියලා තමයි ඕක තේරුම් ගත්තේ හරි ඒකින්ද මේ හිතන්න එපා මේක හැටි. හරි? ඒක හිතන්න එපා කියන්නේ කට්ටියට පොඩ්ඩක් මේ ජොයින් වෙන්න කියන්නේ. මත් අපරාධනේ මේ වැඩේ කරගෙන යනකොට. හරි. Right. So next what we can do now we have updated the code into like if else condition now it's gone all good. Next we will do like this. We'll do another structure. This structure is known as switch. This is another structure actually. Usually we using whenever if there's something discrete. Now what is this discreteness? We'll discuss. Once it comes to numeric values, we can state 0 to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to 95 or something like we can add the values into one single line. Then we can divide into different partitions or portions. Okay. But once it comes to discrete logics or discrete variables, we don't have that kind of a situation. As an example, a string. We'll go for an example. String name will give Manisha. We'll give the name as Manisha. Now what I'm going to do, if the name is Manisha, we'll print you are a good boy, right? If what we are going to do, if name equal Manisha, then we are telling this out. You are a good boy, right? All good. We'll execute and see what happens. Perfect. No issues at all. What we can do, if the name is Manish, we can go for this one. We can go for another one. We can go for another name, another if, another if, another if, and so on and so forth. One for Caldera, one for Izuru, one for Sama. Right. So what happens now? We have different specific values. Specific values. If the name is Caldera, then we can add like this. We'll execute. You are a good boy, Caldera. We'll add. You are a good boy, Caldera. Correct. Specifically, we can go for equals, 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 equal signs. No worries at all. No issues. I'm happy. But we have much more stronger and enhanced mechanism that is known as switch. How to use this switch? It's quite easy. We want to add the keyword switch. Right. So if it is a bit complicated, I'll remove all of these things. We'll keep it in here. For the switching, you need to add a key first of all. What is the key? According to this situation, the variable name. So we'll get name in here. Now we don't want to write these if conditions. Usually this if condition takes a lot of processing power. Why do we consume processor for an unwanted stuff if we have an alternative option? As an example, what is the alternative option? Using switch. So we'll add case. What is the case? Same thing, guys. What we want to go for case within double quotes, then add something here, system.out.println, then we'll go to here. That's all. So all you need to understand, you all need to memorize is this small thing. What is that? Switch. What is the variable? Case. What are the possibilities that this variable can store? As an example, in this case, it might be Caldera, it might be Manish, it might be Zoo, it might be someone or someone else even. Now the question comes, what question arises whenever we have someone known as Tenuja. Oh my God, if condition would not able to treat in that case, think if we have 1 million possibilities that not in this scope, that means we have possible scopes of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 conditions, 4, but there are possibilities 1 million above not possible that comes here. How to handle using if condition? You get stuck because we can't state, we can't write if 1 million ifs, and we can't check everything because it's computationally very inefficient, because it checks the first statement, it's false, it checks the second statement, third, fourth, fifth, and so on and so forth. It checks until 1 million records. Think each if condition uses 1 nanosecond, 1000 nanoseconds used for one single small operation. 1000 nanoseconds, guys. So extremely large time. Extremely large time for an unwanted work. To avoid that case, that's why I'm suggesting my new methodology, that is switch. Now, what I'm going to say, you use Manisha. If Manisha is in here, we'll see what is the output. We'll execute. We'll execute. Well, no worries at all. Manisha assigns to the name variable. Name comes to here. Name is Manisha. It checks check like if condition true, perfect. It goes to here. No issues at all. All good. If there is another condition called Caldera, what we can do, we'll add a case within double quotes. We'll add Caldera. Then we'll add colon. Then we'll go for another statement. You are a good boy, Caldera. Something for differentiate. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add Caldera here and I'm going to execute it. Now what would be happen? It comes to here, it comes to here, it comes to here, it goes to here and starts execution. So the output should be you are good boy Caldera, and we'll see whether I could be able to take it out. Perfect. Perfect. It gives the perfect output without any problem. I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this. Next, what we can do? Next, what we can do? We can add like just check again, go for Manisha and check what would be the output. It comes to here, it comes to here, and it comes to here. Then Manisha, there's a case perfect, and it should be goes to here. Then we'll see what could be happen. Then after whether it's terminating or not, we'll execute the program. Oh my God, we are getting into trouble. Why? We was just assumed that the program would stops from this statement, line number 25. You are a good boy, that's it. But unfortunately, what has happened, it moves towards the next case, which is line number 26 onwards, and program starts executing. This is an error. So we want to stop it. That means we want to define where the scope is. How to define the scope is 24th to 25th. Well, that's more than enough. We'll add to stop something. We want to stop a car. How? We'll add a brake. Determine it. Brake. Don't go more than this. This is the last statement that you want to go. Line number 24, we'll stop here. That it's don't go more. Here, that's it, don't go. We'll execute this one. Perfect. No issues. Break is a keyword, as we already know, and it stops the execution. End of this case statement. Well, why don't you ask a question? While we are using Caldera, we don't want to get any issues because it perfectly stops in here, even without break. The reason behind is whenever we are writing the last statement, there is no need to break it because there's no possibility it goes furthermore. This is a possibility to go furthermore, but if it is in here, it's not going furthermore. That's the reality. So whether we added or not, last statement would automatically stops or terminates in there. Clear? That's the whole story that you need to understand with this break statements. Now you know how to add a switch statement, how to add case, how to add a scope for this case statement, and how to add a break. Further, how to add a couple of more and more case statements according to the requirement and add and expand your logic. Last but not least, what if the logic that I told previously, as an example, Tenuja? Well, now it's a trouble. In my program, there is no case condition for Tenuja. Any solutions that you have?
We can use default keyword.
Perfect, perfect. We can use default keyword. We can use default keyword in here, and we can say sis out, sorry, your name is not in my book, or wherever what you're doing. Maybe still something. So what happens? There are possibilities, two major possibilities, Maneja and Caldera. We accept both two. Apart from these possibilities, we should reject everything. How to reject everything? Simply we can add a default statement and let the program to stop. You don't want to go furthermore. That's all. Clear? Simple, right? Will execute this story. Yeah, perfect. I'm sorry, your name is in your book. Sorry, your name is not in my book. Thank you. Got it. So we understood these case statements, two case statements and a one default case. Right? We can add any number of cases according to our requirement without any problem. And default cases, no, this is just one. Clear? Any questions from if
Yes.
and if else and is what we call switch statement?
No, sir. All good.
All good. We'll do a question then. Hmm? Question. Wait, question. Questions are on the way. Now we'll do some of coding stuff, practicals. Then only we can understand all the things real. Few coding activities we'll do. Some of examples. I have a weird question. All right. Now we'll do few activities, probably a couple of activities. If it is too complicated, please let me know. Then I have much simpler question. If you want, we can start from the simpler question. You need to write a code. Hard, if it is hard, I can give a simpler question. Hard, easy, manageable or not?
Very good.
Can or not? Cannot. Hard.
I'll try, sir.
We'll try. Or we'll do some easy question. This is much easy. I think you can do it. We'll start from here. This is much easy. It's just taking, I think, less than 5 minutes. Quickly, we'll complete this one. Then we'll go to the next one. Next one is a little bit intermediate level of a question.
also.
Yeah, Kavindu. Done?
Right, Siddha?
Good. All right. We'll go to the next question then. Yeah, yeah, going to.
My answer is provided, but I can't understand. This question is very vague. So I answered, but I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, your answer is okay. No issues with that. It's good. Yeah. Imagine you need to design a program, calculate, we'll see what is that. Calculate the total cost of a shopping cart based on the item selected. Write a code snippet that takes item codes as input and returns the corresponding price. If the item code is not recognized, display an error message. So total cost calculation would be we do it later on because it needs iteration. So what we can do now, consider scenario user entered a something. How would you handle this scenario? Both if else condition. Yes, your condition is good, very good. It's really appreciated. Once you learn this, what we call these loops and iterations, today we are discussing that one. So after the iterations, you could be able to complete this total calculation. For now, that's perfect. We'll go for another question quickly. Good. Very good, actually. Right. I think no need to bother about that. You are going in a very smooth phase. Very good. Appreciate it a lot. So next, what we are going to do, I will share my screen with you. Right. Right. We'll do a modification for this code. Now, what we have done here up to here is we manually added a variable name. We haven't requested from end user. Let the end user to enter details. For this, to get the input from end user, we want to add a special code. Sometimes you know classes and stuff. Sometimes you don't know. You just memorize this code, right? If you are unable to understand what is this, I'm unable to explain at the moment what is this, but I'll explain within next couple of weeks what is this definitely. But for now, we'll go for scanner. There's a reference variable. I'm adding C new scanner. And what I'm going to do, system in. Right, and I'm going to add a semicolon here. Now you could be able to see in my screen there is an error. So what I'm going to do, I'm hover over this scanner. Then I can see import scanner java.util. There is another scanner for Java C parser. We don't go for Java C parser. Instead of this, we go for java.util. Make sure to select this one and click this one. It might automatically do this statement, import statement. Don't worry, it's much easier. You can understand these things very well later on, right? So what we are going to do, we are added a statement, another line. So we added a line to get input. If we are getting the input, so we don't want static values, we'll remove that one. And whatever the information, whatever the data that entered by the user will stored in this name variable. How to do that? We go to se.next. This is a method to get a string. If you want an integer, you can get next int. If you want double, next double. If you want long, next long. See, next long. Anything that you can add for string, you just want to add next. Even we have an option called next line. Show you next line. It's also a string, but I'm lazy. Actually, it's not laziness. We have something else in later on. You will realize there is a difference in between next and the next line. So for now, we'll go for next. Next finds and returns the next complete token from this scanner. Complete token is followed by input matches and something. Yeah, then you can understand it later on. If you don't understand now, what is at all for now, all you need to do is add this line. You can't change the location and add these two code. That's it. Then you are getting an opportunity to enter details. We'll execute the program and we'll see what is happening. What is happening? At the moment, I can't see anything, but actually the program is running. How I know? Because you can see the program is can terminate it. If I terminate, the program is terminated, it's not running. We'll execute again. See, the program is running, but I can't see anything. But if I add a string in here, I'll add what we call money share. If I add a string here, we'll enter, it works. But there is an issue, the user is unaware with what happens in this environment. So what we can do, we can let the user to do something as an output. We'll ask user to please enter your name. Right, we'll execute. Please enter your name. Now we can see some information here. Then I'm going to add Manish. Sorry, your name is not in my book because case sensitivity. Yes, because of case sensitivity, you can see this is capital M, this is simple M, so it's not in there. Case should be same, extract same. Still, I have some issue because it's not aligned to this line. It's just go to the next line. To avoid that, what can you go for? We go for print statement instead of print line. We'll execute it and see what happens now. Print your name. Manish, right, nice. Now it's working as expected. If you want some additional white space, we can add an additional white space in here. We'll go for your name, Manish. It's much readable now, easy to understand, and it's working perfectly. Similar to this one, you can add any number and do anything that you want to do. Right? Clear? Any questions?
Okay.
All clear. All right. If it is all clear, now the story is starting. Input numbers, input. Let the user to input two numbers and find the maximum number among the good numbers. We'll do a question then. If all good, we'll do a question. Stop sharing. Nice. Shared. Right. Easy question. All you need to do is ask the user to enter two numbers. Then you need to display the largest number. Maximum. Very good. Very good. Superb. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. We'll enhance the program a bit more now, right? Let the user to input 3 numbers. Right. Very good. Actually, it's very good. Yes. Try this one quickly. Yes, good effort. Right. So you have tackled the question in a different manner. So you have added to check the number one is greater than number two and number three. So it's number one, and you check else the number two is greater than number one and number two is greater than number two. If the number two, then print number two. Else, you should consider for number three. That's your approach. Right. So basically, it covers the essentials that you need to know related to if else conditions and switch and some of related stuff that related to your work for what we call this user input related stuff. I think it's a good point that you have here now. So we'll take a small break before we are going next. We have to go for a small theoretical context content, which is pair programming. Before that, we'll take a small break because then I can continue the work as it is. So you can take 15 minutes of break and back to the seat around 2:55 around. 2:55 around you can come to the seat again. We'll continue the discussion from here onwards. All right.
Okay, sir.
All right, so we'll start another important theoretical aspect that you need to learn under this course is pair programming. So we'll discuss what is pair programming and the advantages of this pair programming. First of all, is more introduction. Pair programming is a software development technique. It's a software development technique where two programmers work together at one workstation. That means there are two developers or two programmers, programmer 1 and programmer 2. This is the programmer 1 and programmer 2. Both of these programmers are focused on a single or unique code base. It's a common. So this is the basics of this pair programming. In pair programming, one person takes the role of the driver responsible for writing the code. So there is a person is a driver who is writing the code, while the other person takes the role of the observer or navigator. It's an observer who is looking the observations, reviewing the code being written and providing input and suggestion. So one is driver who is writing the code. Person 1 is writing the code and person 2 is basically review it. So we can tell that person is the navigator or the observer. So this person is writing something, then this one is just looking here and there what is happening and so on and so forth. A bit further, the roles can be switched frequently during the development process. That means the beginning, this person is the driver who is taking the responsibilities to write in the code, and this person is the observer who is observing the code. After a while, in another piece of code, as an example for another function, this person is the driver who is writing the code, and this person is the observer. So what happens here, it's like switching. The contexts are switched according to the situation. Sometimes this person might be strong in coding, then this person might be strong in reviewing. So it might be like shifting here and there, but both of the people are writing codes and both of the people are reviewing code. So it's very strong and advantageous process. So if it is an advantage, what are the aspects and the benefits that you need to focus on? Very first thing is collaboration and knowledge sharing. Once it comes to this pair programming, it encourages collaboration and sharing of knowledge and expertise between team members. It's obvious if you are individually doing something, the sometimes you might unable to ask a question. I do have a problem, how to solve this question. Then if there is another one, at least you can discuss with that person, isn't it? Then collaboratively you can discuss an approach how to solve the problem by combining these two. It allows brainstorming, problem solving, and discussing different approaches to solve problem. It's a complex problem. Usually once it comes to a software engineering world, people are solving complex problems. So to solve complex problems, sometimes individually you are unable to solve the problem. So the approach or the best approach that you can go through is you can have another person who is helping for you, or collaboratively or discussing with each other whenever to develop something. These are nice approaches in this context. Another aspect and a benefit is code quality and review. As at a glance you should be able to understand, because uh, usually two sets of eyes on the code. If you are doing just developing, you developed it and you have submitted it or given to the deployment team or testing team or someone. But if there are two people involving for a one single code base, then four eyes are looking the problem. So it's very convenient and easy. So it's much stronger in this context. It provides nice opportunity to go through and understand and work on this kind of a complex situation, because nowadays we can write the code. If there's an issue that found by whenever the developer's perspective, then the observer can fix it, advise, no, there's some issue, and so on and so forth. Observer can review code in real time, identify potential issues, suggesting improvements, and ensuring adherence to the coding standards. Because there are two people, then criticize with each other's code. You are doing something correct or incorrect or something. Criticism is very important. It's not something to upset or worry. It's like very good because it gives feedback for us based on the definition. We can do a lot, right? We can do a lot by combining, because it it helps us to construct or keep confident on the project coding that we are submitting. A bit more learning and skill development, as you already know, it's like a very common thing. uh, we have opportunity to share the knowledge. As an example, if one person needs 1 hour to read a book, then there are two people in the same context, then both are reading, then 2 hours of reading, but to explain sometimes it might take only 10 minutes, isn't it? If you are reading, it might be 2 hours. Now 2 hours plus uh, 20 hours or something for the entire process. You're saving 40 minutes, 40 minutes, and it's much easy to and convenient to you to understand, to explain to someone else, then your understanding is getting higher and higher. Furthermore, the less experienced programmers, they can easily adapt to the coding environments because they don't have much coding experience. So what they can do easily, they can follow the experienced people. But once it comes to this pair programming, we don't add, as it is the technical, highly technical people like architects, senior leaders, and stuff with an internship or someone. One above, as an example, if you are a software engineer, then a senior software engineer is more than enough, not a lot. If it is a big or a very top in the hierarchy, then there might be a big issue at the end of the day to solve complex problems. So it might be affect a lot. To avoid that, what the usual or the general uh, arrangements would be just following one above to follow the structures and designs to make everyone confident. A bit further, reduce bugs and increase productivity. Obviously, since there is a reviewer every time, the possibilities of getting issues is low. Right? So if the issues getting opportunities are low, and improve the code quality and reduce the cost time to spend the debugging. So a lot of time that we are working for debugging for processes would be uh, is quite complicated, right? So that's the point, that you need to understand the quality of the product or the quality factors, how these quality factors are evolving, and how these quality factors are supporting, and so on and so forth. So obviously, this pair programming would definitely help to reduce bugs and increase the productivity, because everyone in the organization, from the developer's perspective as well as the other ends, everyone is really happy. So it's much confident to allow or push this source code into the real world without yeah, much issues. Continuous improvement, definitely. Once it comes to pair programming, it promotes continuous learning and improvement through regular code review and discussions. Team members can identify areas for improvement, refine their coding skills, and adopt better practices. You know, once it comes to this continuous improvement, every day the research industry, they are producing new strategies, techniques, and many other facts. So if you have much more knowledge with new or cutting edge technologies and tools and techniques, then you can share that information with the other peer. So then everyone, at the end of the day, everyone would get good understanding on what kind of a thing is this, what kind of a help that we can do for these XYZ things. So it's very important to understand this kind of a complex scenario, because every day we need to improve. Even if you join to industry, you are required to improve, unless you might be stay in a single place, which is not an improvement, so you can't go a lot. So to avoid that, it's a must to have this kind of a continuous improvement. Then only you can understand and you go through with all of these new factors and so on and so forth, how new technologies can help us, how the systems are improving, how new technologies are evolve and emerge to new aspects. So this is very important to understand, but to have a proper overview. So it covers, like I have given a very general overview. I think that's more than enough for pair programming. It's not a very detailed context, but it's a powerful context. Theoretically, there are no much things to discuss. I would strongly encourage everyone to have pair programming, even in your general day-to-day life. So you can remotely work. It's much easy, convenient, cost saving, and everything is much convenient and easy for you. So basically, what you can do is you can practice these things easily. Then you can go through with these processes and adapt to the latest environments. Right? Any questions? No questions? All good? All right. If everything is okay, what can we do? I'll ask some questions from you. Here you go. You have a QR code. If you want, if you can scan it, then you can start answering. Or else, what can I do? I will share URL with you in the chat. I have added it to the Telegram group. Right. You can take around 10 minutes maximum to answer these questions. Very easy questions. Very easy questions. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. 5 questions are there. So it's very easy questions. I'll give 10 minutes to you. It's 2 minutes for a one question. It's more than you have to answer. So you can you can answer these questions just now. Start it now. So we'll start coding again after this theoretical component. If you do have any questions, please let me know. All right, thank you. So I think it's much easy, and I think everyone got full marks. Hmm, we see responses. Good. Everyone responded. Okay. Good. Right. So let us discuss another aspect of programming: iterations. What are these iterations and how to work with these iterations? It's a key and most important as well as powerful factor in programming. So let us start the next called activity. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the same place to do my coding work. Right. So let us discuss and another interesting and important factor. What is that? I want to print numbers. My very simple question. I want to print 1 to 100. That's all. Can someone write a code and share it with me? 1 to 100 numbers. I will give 2 minutes. All right, great. I got an answer using for loop. Well, it's a nice work. Appreciate it. So I would like to go through a simple mechanism. I would like to introduce while loop today. What is while loop? It's an iteration process, and it's much easy for you to understand and go through. What we can do is we can define an integer. It x is 0. I think you know this one now. While x less than 100, you print x. Now if we consider about this work, what happens here? 0 assigns to x. X is less than 100, obviously, yes, true. So it prints 0. Then it's not stop. Usual scenario is then when a program starts, the execution would stops with the score. Now what is going in here? It iterates to the point that starts the logic. That means it comes to this place again. Now it starts from here, goes to here, goes to here. It's not leaving the structure. Instead, it goes to here again. Now it executing, starts the execution process again. Still 0 is less than 100. Again, it's 0. Likewise, infinite of zeros will be output. That's our expectation. We'll see and we'll execute and see what happens in here. As expected, you can see zeros are continuously displaying in our screen, in our console. So it confirms our thinking is correct. We don't want to happen this one. Instead of we want to have 0 to 100. How to do that? We have to create a logic or a operation to terminate this process or terminate this logic. To terminate this logic, x should be less than 100. If it is 100 or above, the program would definitely stop. It would definitely stop. To add 0 to 100, what we can do, starting from 0, next one should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Likewise, it should be go. So what we have to do, we have to increase by 1. How to increase by 1? X plus plus. We have discussed last week. Now what's happening here? Starting from 0, it goes here. Yeah, it's 0 is less than 100. Perfect. It prints 0. Perfect. It goes here plus 1. That means addition to 1. 0 plus 1, now it's 1. Now it goes back here. Now 1 is less than 100. Perfect. It goes here. It prints 1. It comes to here. Now it's 2. Likewise, the iteration process goes till 99, and once it comes to 100, the program would not execute because 100 is less than 100. That's how we think. And we'll execute and see whether our thinking is correct or not. As expected, we can see the program starts from 0. Program starts from 0 and ends where value comes to 99. So we want 0 to 100. We have two options. One is the easiest thing. We'll do that one. We'll add a assignment. Oh my God, I'm getting an error. Why? The reason is that is not the correct place to add equal sign. Instead of that, we have to add the equal sign to here. Now we'll execute and see what happens. Yeah, perfect. Because we have added an equal sign to 100. Above 100, it's not executing. So 0 to 100, it's printing properly. So once it comes to this while loop, while structure, there is an initialization, process of initialization. It initializes value to 0. Then there is a logic. There is a logic. Then there is an operation. In between that, there are some of statements of executions are there. All you need to understand is this kind of a structure is very easy. So you can initialize multiple things and do some actions here and there and do something. It's an obvious story in this situation. Very general and easy thing. Next, what we can do? Next, what we can do? I want add another value 110. Now we'll run the program and we'll see what happens. No outputs at all. Any reason behind that? Anyone? No output at all. Any reason behind? Dilshad? Any reason? Mahmoudita? Any reason?
Because
Sorry,
X is already
Sorry?
What's the question?
Yeah, Dilshad, go ahead.
because X is already greater than 100.
Already greater than the expected value or the logic. Yeah, that's nice. Good. Now assume I want to run this structure at least once, though it's true or false. This condition is true or false. That's not a problem at all. I want to run this scope at least once. To do that, we have a new structure. What we can do? We can take this while to end. Problem solved, right? If you take while to end, then program runs, then only the evaluation is happening. So the structure should change to a semicolon to stop the scope. And we'll execute and see what happens now. 110. Perfect. Perfect, right? Perfect. So what we can do, we can additionally, we can add do. You do this one, unless it might be confusing for a student. 110. Sometimes you have learned do while. This is the magic that I have. See, without do, my code is breaking. It's not a magic. That's the reality. Something upgraded. Experiment a bit more, then you will realize some nice and interesting things. We'll execute the program now. Starts from 110, exercise to 110, prints 110, increases by 1. Now the value is 111. 111 is obviously greater than 100. So the program terminates, goes to line number 11 or not, then the program will execute. Got it? That's how this program is running. The initial structure was known as while loop. This structure is known as do while loop. Do while loop. Easy, isn't it? It's much easy. I have one more structure to introduce. It is most popular structure, for loop. For loop. What can I do, guys? I can add for loop. It says loop and a for. So we'll add for within brackets. We'll add the same thing in here. How I'm going to add the same thing? You just keep your eye on. I'm copying the stuff from here and paste it in here. This is my first statement. Done. Second, logic. Copy it, paste it here. Done. Nice. Third, operation. I'm going to take it and I'm going to edit it. Nice. Perfect. All good. Within brackets, we'll add system.out.println. Syntax is telling in here you have a duplicate value. So what we can do, we'll comment this one. By telling it's duplicated, I have removed the duplication by adding, comment, easy. Now the problems are solved. This is the for loop. For loop do have three major components. One is the initialization, like initializing a variable, then a logical place, a logical condition, well, and the operation. So what we can do is we can remove here 10 is less than 100, true. It comes to here, then prints 10, then it goes to here. Now it's 11, now it checks here. 11 is less than 100, true. It goes here. Program starts execution to print 11. Right. You see what is the output. Perfect. Perfect. Till 10 to 100, if you want 0 to 100, program would execute. This is the most common structure that we use in programming. Clarifications are required or not? Shape manageable? Any questions?
Yeah, all good up to now, sir.
Sorry?
It's all good up to now, sir.
No questions?
Yeah.
Other two?
All good, sir.
All good. Other one?
Same, sir.
Same. All good. Nice. So coding genius. Good. Then we'll do some coding exercises. Right? Give me a second. I'll quickly find the dig and dive and find some questions for you. I have shared a simple question. I think 5 minutes is more than enough to write this kind of a simple question. So we'll see. You can start coding within 5 minutes. We'll see your progress. Yes, done. Guys, what has happened? Done?
Done, sir.
Done. Share the answer in group or mail me. Ah, you have shared. Good, 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 good. Nice, nice. All right, good, very good. We'll go to the next question. Done? Yes? Easy question, right? Hard? Do you want more time? Do you want more time? Dirshan, Kavindu? Do you want more time? Right, I received an answer. Well, it's a bit complicated, but no worries, because I think it's something really hard to understand. Who is this? Kavi. Who is this Kavi? Kavindu. Kavindu, do we have
Yes,
any
sir.
answer on this this is too complicated. Anything easy? Because you have used private static Boolean is prime method. It's too complicated for me. Any simpler method? We don't want methods and stuff for this question here. A simplest method that you can go through. Huh? The other one? Dirshan?
How can I share?
Sorry?
How can I share the code?
You can share it in Telegram or you can drop an email.
Right. We can
This
share the
is
email.
send an email.
So what is the email? I didn't.
Sorry?
What is the email?
CALDRA Caldera
Yes.
6734 at Gmail.
6734
at gmail.com. Right, if you have done, we'll go to the next one. This is a star pattern. That means your output should print this kind of a pattern. Right, so it starts from 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 and 5 stars. Try to develop a code to draw these star patterns.
I just sent it.
Thank you, I'll check it. I have added another star pattern. So we have 2 star patterns now. You can complete it quickly. 1 star pattern like this, the other star pattern like this. Done, guys. I have received one. Okay. Good. Very good. Right. Anything else? Anything else, guys? All good? No? All good?
The second one is not completed.
All right. No worries. No worries. So actually, we have done a nice work today. So it's like very detailed discussion. Actually, it's very nice. Actually, we will do some more questions today, and will improve our coding skills. I would strongly encourage to not to refer any place. Do it alone without referring any place. I will generate another question quickly. Find a easy question. All right, Dilshan, you can develop the code later on and share it with me. I'm going to the next question now. It's another very easy question. You can take around 10 to 15 minutes maximum. All right, guys, have you done the question? Is that hard? I don't think so. It's a hard question. All right, sure. We can add some codes today. So yeah, sure. I can do some of samples today. We'll get a sample. All right. We'll do a small question. Where's my ID? Right. This is a request from one of your colleagues to have a small discussion to help you. So what we are going to do, we are going to do a small example for what we want to do. We'll do anything that you want. Yeah, we'll do something like a star pattern. All right, we'll go for a star pattern that makes sense and it might be much easier for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a small for loop, inner for loop, like four inside a for loop, similar small question. It's not a big deal, so it's much easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all of these things in here. Well, I'll remove this Canada's because it's not required further. So we'll start. For to start, we have to understand the star pattern. First of all, there are a few stars in a specific alignment. This is much easy. So we'll start with the general for loop. For we'll go for int I usual int I where the program which starts. I will set it 1 and I want maximum to 4 or 5 or whatever. Then you can define the number in here, number of here. Then next we can do, usually we can increase the variable. Right. Next what we can do, we have to go inside another loop, right? Because there is x-axis and a y-axis. So to move towards x-axis and y-axis, it's a must to have two for loops, because one for loop iterates throughout the time and the next for loop iterates again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to define another j, which is another loop. I'll start from 0, or else we start from 1. That makes easy for my life. And we can go for j equals to I. Why I'm specifying j equals to I, sorry, j lesser than I, lesser than or equals to I. The reason behind here is now the first iteration starts with 1 and it goes to the next one. 1 is lesser than 5, it's true. So next what happens, it starts another loop inside this loop, inside this for loop. Now this is the iteration that I want to start, and this is the place that I want to stop in a proper place. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to develop it as j equals to 1. Then I'm telling run this inner loop till it's lesser than or equals to I. Then if it is 1, maximum would be 1. If it is 2, maximum would be 2, because you can I think you can memorize. It's mainly focusing on 1 star, 2 star, 3 star and 4 star kind of a thing. So it starts with the one single star in the first row, second row we have 2 stars. So that's why I have decided to go for this kind of a thing. For a beginner, sometimes it might be a bit confusing and you are unable to do all of a sudden for this kind of a logic. But after a while, I'm pretty sure you will be able to develop that kind of a logic in your IDE easily. So we'll add this out and we'll add a star. Right, we'll add a star. Now each and every iteration should be ends with a new line. How to add this new line? I'm going to add a statement like this, system dot out println with empty. That means nothing in here, right? Nothing in here. So what happens now, this program is coming here, running here, iterating through, break, new line, it goes here and here and there. We'll see what is the output for this stuff, or something gone wrong. What is the issue in here? It starts with unstar, 2, 3, and stars. Something gone wrong. What was the issue in here? What was the issue in here? Have you captured the issue? It starts with 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars, and 1, 2, 3, and 4 stars. Yes, obviously that's the expectation, but it's not horizontally gone. What is the reason behind it? Anyone? It starts with 1 perfect.
Eight line need to print keyword, not print ln.
Perfect. Perfect. If it is print ln means you are going for a new line. Print new line. So it states after the first one, it goes to another new line and new line. That's the reason behind it. So what we can do, we'll remove this ln. All right. Now we'll execute and see what could be the output. Perfect. It starts with 1 star at the beginning. I equals to 1. I is less than 5. True. It comes to here. J is 1. J is less than or equals to I. At the moment, I is 1 and J is 1. So yes, it's true. So it prints 1 star. 1 star is done. Good. Then it goes to here. J is 2 because there's an increment, plus plus. So plus plus means there is a 1 addition. So what happens here? It's a 1. 1 plus 1, it's 2. 2 is greater than greater than number 1. So the for loop will break and it starts from here. This is the system.out.println, which goes to the new line. It starts with a new iteration. Initially I was 1 because you can see in here, this is one chunk of for loop and the other chunk of for loop is starts with here, right? See, you can start, this is the scope. So it comes to here. Now it's I equals I plus plus. Sorry, I plus plus. I plus plus means initially it's 1. Now it's 2. 2 is less than 5. 2 is less than 5. True. So it comes to here. Now again, J is 1. Why J is 1? Because it's a new iteration for the inner loop, right? So this is a new iteration. Now it's 1 is less than or equals to 2. Perfect. Now what is true? Prints 1 star. Yeah, it prints and it goes to here. Now J is 2. Checking 2 is greater than or equals to 2. Yes, it's equals, true. So it comes inside the scope. It prints another star. It added another star in here. Now 2 stars added. Perfect. It goes here again. Now I plus plus. Now J plus plus. Now J is 3. J is 3. 3 is lesser than or equals to 2. Not really. False. That means after the second star, the inner for loop would terminate. Then this statement would execute. After the execution, the cursor goes to the next line. After that, this program starts from here again. Now I is 3 and again until the expectations, until the stuff that expecting we are 4, until the 4th iteration it would be happen. If it is more than that, no worries at all. We can go for any number that you want. There might be nice shapes would be developed. Star patterns are quite complicated and very complex some scenarios, but if you give much more attention, it's much easy. Initial stage might be bit difficult. First time to understand what kind of a thing is this star patterns might be a bit hard, but I believe after a while it's nothing. You will understand, especially this logic is the most important logic that you should understand. Then only you can develop all of these XYZ things in an easier manner, very easier manner. right? So I would strongly encourage you to do much more practicals, coding exercises. Go for coding. Some of practical questions are there in internet. Lot of questions are there. Go through all of these questions. Do as much as programs. Write as much as programs alone without any help. Right? If you are getting help from some tool, means you are not learning, because you should get stressed. You should get a lot of stress. Then only you can learn, because this stress makes you stronger. Clear? So stress out yourself. That's good. Stress out yourself. You struggle to solve. It's a very painful uh, learning curve at the beginning, but after a while, I think it's much easy. You might realize, oh no, it's not easy to. You can do a lot of things easier, right? So I have given an example to elaborate what kind of a situation happens in these cases. I have given an opportunity to do a lot of practical examples, and I believe you have gained a lot of experience from by solving these questions. I'm pretty sure until you are solving these questions, you might unable to learn. That's the reality, guys. You should do it alone as much as you can do. Then only you might be a good and strong to handle this kind of a question. If not, it might be a hectic task for a programmer, because this is a programmer's job, right? This is a programmer's job. You should do all of these things in your life throughout. Right. Any other questions that we want to discuss today? Do you have any questions? First of all, sorry. Do you have any questions? Questions all good?
Yes, sir. All good.
All good. Dilshan?
Yeah, good.
All good, manageable. So spend this week for programming. At least spend couple of hours per day. I mean, at least minimum 2 hours per day. I think you are usually spending hours with YouTube and Facebook and other social media platforms. So allocate 2 hours for programming. If you are a working student or you are doing a job, you can spend at least half an hour. I'm pretty sure you can spend half an hour per day. Then at least 3.5 hours minimum you can spend in next week, upcoming week, to Java, Java programming. So I believe much time, much complex problems make you stronger. That's the reality. So guys, thanks for the attendance, and I believe next day we will have much more students. Do it, because whether you are a remote student or a physical student, or regardless of whatever the place that you are living in the location, we should code it. That's it. That's the thing, right? If you are coming with 2.5 kilometers to a physical place and doing code, or else you stay home and doing the code, there's no difference, right? Person who is doing code, that person is doing whether he is in Sri Lanka or India or Netherlands or any other place. If you are not doing, whether you are coming closest to the teacher, first drawing the teacher, but you are not doing. That's the reality. So do it, spend hours, push yourself, and do as much as you can. So I believe next week you might attend with very strong programming experience. All right, then have a nice weekend and have a nice day. We'll meet in next week. See you. Bye bye.
Yes,
Thank you.